Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Infused show.
Yes,
I got to
sir.
tell you, I'm here with Mike Patterson.
Hello, everyone.
Mike, we are in the Empire City. We're in the Big Apple. We're in the city that never sleeps.
Yes.
We've had quite a 24 hours in this city, my man.
Yes, we have. This is unusual in decades of me doing trade shows. I've never done a trade show where we arrive the day before to set up, only to find that our crate with everything in it is, wow, what's that? Weed World candy.
Yeah, no, see, we're live on the floor of the CWCBExpo show day one, and Weed World's Candy just drove by. We didn't really think that they'd have their carts active here, but that's the kind of thing that we're going to be able to bring you from the trade show floor. Mike, you were telling me, this has never happened to you.
No, this is unprecedented for us to get here and not have a crate. We didn't know where it was. They couldn't find it. They guaranteed it to be here today by 8 a.m. It arrived 15 minutes before the show started at 10:45. So we were hustling. We got a little sweaty, I admit. We got everything set up. You guys did an awesome job getting everything for Infused set up, and Francesca and I have been fielding some people coming up with some really, really cool opportunities to help where they need help selling product. We had 2 from Oklahoma, 1 from Nevada, plus several East Coast already in the first hour. So it's pretty encouraging, just day one already, after all the drama to get set up.
All the drama to get it set up, and for our listeners that aren't aware of this is a trade show that, is not strike 1, strike 2. It was strike 3 as far as rescheduling this thing is concerned.
That's right.
So COVID really, really threw a roadblock in the way of this show, and it's such a highly anticipated show because it is New York City, It is New Jersey. We have those emerging markets coming. So what do you expect to see at this show? What do you hope to take away?
What I'm really expecting to see from CWCBE this year is a lot of people from New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania potentially that are in the process of getting ready to roll.
Yeah.
And no pun intended. New Jersey's not far away, so we've had a lot of people talk about getting their final stages of their licensing and their operations in order, and that's perfect for us because we want to get in early and help people start getting their heads around sales and operation and make sure all those things work together with the marketing. And far too often people wait till they have stuff in their curing room before they start thinking about it, and that's way too late.
A little late.
So I'm really, really excited to see people who are excited about the East Coast, excited about starting a new venture, and looking for people like us that can bring the heat when it comes to helping to grow sales.
Absolutely. And it is pretty cool that you, like you mentioned, in hour one, we've got people from all over the country here.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see what we take out of this. I'm anxious to see you do your thing and walk the floor. Have you had a chance to scout it out yet?
I have not. It's been so crazy with all the other bullshit that we dealt with earlier that I'm just now finally getting my wits about me and getting into show mode. So I'm excited. I mean, the aisles are packed.
They are packed.
I mean, normally the first hour is kind of quiet.
Kind of slow.
It's pretty packed. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And for the opening of a show, I really hope, not that those guys weren't awesome, but I hope not to spend that much time with the wonderful Freeman's Union from here in New York City. We might have more of them later. Look, they're setting somebody else up right now over across the way.
But it was out of their control. It's a trucking company, and they did everything they could to get us. They gave us a couple guys to help get the booth in order. So I tip my hat to the effort that they put forth once they realized that they dropped the ball.
I do too. And you're a guy who knows a thing or two about shipping delays and things like that, so it's not uncommon these days. So look, I know the show's starting and you want to get back into the fray here. Thank you for giving me your thoughts as we start this thing out. We'll be talking to you a little bit later.
All right, sounds good, Nick.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to the Infused show. We're here on day one of the CWCBExpo, a much delayed show. We haven't been here since May of 2019, so it feels good to be back at CWCBExpo. It feels great to be back in New York City and to see so many amazing people. And I want to introduce our listeners to an amazing person. Dan Jensen stopped by, and he agreed to talk with us. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is an amazing, amazing expo. Beautiful people, beautiful products with a beautiful message. What more could you ask for?
Absolutely well said. Now, as far as the CWCBExpo concerned, is this your first time at this particular show?
At this particular show, yes.
All right, and we knew that they wanted I mean, I guess this is take 3 because we had the delay with COVID. So my God, we're all like bursting at the seams to get out on that floor and talk with people. But as far as talking with people goes, Dan came by, and I want Dan to talk about the work that he does. It is so worthwhile. It means everything to people in our industry in our efforts to end the stigma surrounding cannabis. So Dan, if you would, give our listeners a quick rundown of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the founder of Code 3 Outreach. I work with first responders and veterans with PTSD. And basically the way that this came up was I have a prior service as a firefighter in EMT in New Jersey. And I dealt with so many things for so long that I just had no idea that I was dealing with. In the 14 years that I was serving, we had only been debriefed on one particular job that was particularly horrible. But as you can imagine, these men and women are doing this every single day. So what you will see in a movie or what you'll see in the newspaper is, and you'll read these articles and say, oh my God, that's horrible. Imagine the men and women that are going to these accidents or these incidents every single day. It takes a toll on you.
Absolutely.
And the way that PTSD creeps up on you, there's not enough awareness in this at all. So basically, to make my story, time consuming, or less time consuming.
Take your time, bud. Take your time.
Like I said, I served for 14 years. I grew up hating everything, every aspect of cannabis.
That is so interesting.
I took that DARE education card that we got in 5th grade.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I held on to that shit like tight, man. And
you don't still have it, do you?
No,
okay,
God, no. I use it as a rolling paper.
Nice. Real nice.
So, it wasn't until I left EMS. I still am certified as a firefighter, even though I'm inactive. And I went into a new opportunity providing security for dispensaries and such like that in New Jersey. Okay. And once I was able to start building a name for myself in that aspect, somebody handed me a joint one day and was like, hey, listen, you need to try this out. And it really took me about 3 months of courage to work up the nerve to actually try this.
Okay.
So here at this point, I already have a sleep disorder. I'm on Ambien for 9 years, which you're not supposed to be on for over 2 years. And I always say that Ambien robbed me of my entire 20s. Where I was a firefighter is a very well-known tourist location. And the day I turned 21, all the guys wanted to take me out to the bar and the clubs and do this and that. And I went out for a half an hour, and it just wasn't for me. I wanted to go home, and I was addicted to Ambien at this point, and I just wanted my Ambien, eat, and go to sleep. So here I am at 27. I leave the EMS side of everything, and somebody gives me this joint. It sits in my cabinet for about 3 months, and then finally I just had enough. Like, I couldn't deal with this shit anymore.
Sure.
So wound up smoking, was terrified because we were still illegal at that point.
Yeah.
And took that first puff and thought it was horrible. I thought it was disgusting. I flushed it down the toilet. But something magical happened 5 minutes later. I'm sitting on the couch playing Guitar Hero, and out of nowhere, I felt like I was 17 again. I started laughing. I started, all the years of guilt, anxiety, and depression were gone.
It's like it reset you.
You're absolutely right. It reset me. So that night, I slept like a baby. Like I never have before. No Ambien. I have never touched Ambien ever since that day. So I look back and I say, look what this did for me. I was 120 pounds overweight. Now I lost 130 pounds, and I dedicate all of that to my cannabis regimen that I'm on. And my career that month took off 126%.
Wow.
Yeah, more productivity because I was sleeping, I was focused, and I was getting my mind right. So where Code 3 became was we were going to a horrible car accident 10 plus years ago. Okay. And we're getting reports on the radio all the time. We had a couple entrapments, a couple DOAs. And I remember looking at my partner, and I didn't say it out loud to him, but we're going 90 miles an hour down the road, lights and sirens, and we are just stone cold. Like, we know what we have to do. And I remember saying to myself, this is the common chaos. And I never knew what that would be at that point. I was big into music. I kind of figured maybe we could turn it into a song, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But then once I started learning about cannabis, there was the common chaos, and there was the common link. So now you have first responders and and soldiers, veterans alike, that are the calm and chaos of any situation. You know, it doesn't matter how horrible that situation is, you know that you have to find that inner calm, that inner strength to achieve your mission.
Right.
And now what happens when you're out of these situations, dealing with the PTSD and the night terrors, the sweats, the fear, the anxiety. So now we promote cannabis as your calm and chaos.
It's such a great endeavor.
Thank you so much. So we've been operational now for about a year and a half, maybe a little less. We've been partnering up with large MSOs and small smoke shops. We work with Curaleaf, Rise, The Botanist. We're doing a veterans drop on November 11th with them. And $2 from every shirt that they purchase is getting donated directly to their local fire department or EMS department. Okay. And an effort for us to go in, and number one, we're always talking about cannabis is going to give back, whether it's tax dollars, whatever. But it's nice to actually see that happen when we go out with a big giant check to these fire departments and these heroes that are giving so much, that we're able to give back and show that cannabis is giving back to you. So we've been very successful so far. We have a donation that we have coming up very shortly with Curaleaf that's been way above standards for us.
Outstanding.
And when we do present them with that check, we're able to sit down and talk about all the medicinal aspects of cannabis and show them that's not something to be scared of. We educate on the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoids, terpenes, and we try to get them to reverse their outdated policies that are so anti-cannabis, because a lot of these organizations won't even let you take CBD.
Yeah.
But what we've noticed is with the proper education and the right way to break down the stigma, that we're reversing these policies now to allow people to have their medical cards and allow them to medicate in a beautiful, meaningful way.
That's such important work, and I want to thank you for your 14 years of service, and it got me thinking about people that put in those years of service, doing the right thing, answering the call, but also have that is coupled with, you said it before, when you had that joint, you have this like innate fear. All those things you were taught as a kid, whether this thing is bad or dangerous, you're used to your 14 years of fighting off the elements and fighting, danger. You're fighting against this stigma that is decades of a cultivated stigma. So do you find that the education is the most rewarding part of what you do, or like the fact that you're able to open people back up to this healing plant?
That's a difficult question, because what I find the most rewarding in this is that somebody will come to me who doesn't know anything about CBD or THC, Delta 8, whatever, no medical card, nothing. And I'm able to tell them my story and to really educate from a professional standpoint on just what this is. This isn't, go down in your mom's basement, go smoke 3 or 4 joints, and go veg out on the couch, play video games. We're talking about being productive, getting your health back, getting your mental health right, and making better decisions and getting sleep and just taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so to me, the most beautiful thing is getting the testimonies from people that we've worked with. We've been able to assist a lot of people in getting their medical cards, and we've actually seen lives completely change, just like mine. Yeah. And that's the most beautiful thing that I could see in this space. Yeah. And that's what we're fighting for every day. And the fact that we're doing it is just a humbling and honor. It's just an honor to be a part of it.
That's you do such important work. I think of veterans. I'm from a military family, and I know a ton of guys in the service, and guys that were in their 40s and 50s that were on 2 or 3 prescriptions for different elements of PTSD that was making them feel like less than human. And then they find cannabis, they get educated, and their whole world opens up. So the fact that you get to open up someone's world to this is incredible work. I congratulate you for it, and I thank you for what you're doing for our community. In terms of this show and in terms of these emerging markets, and I know New York's got a little bit more work to do, as we found out recently, but you got to be excited about what's going on in Jersey, right?
Oh my God, it's incredible. We went from, going behind a Taco Bell like a mile into the woods, being terrified to light up a joint and thinking, oh God, the cops are coming, to you're just standing in Target and you're like, I'll hit the pen, why not?
Yeah, right.
It's the most beautiful thing is just to see the openness and to see everybody getting on board and learning and just destroying the stigma that was indoctrinated into us from day one on how horrible this was, and proving the complete opposite is the truth.
Absolutely. Dan, is there a way that our listeners can help support your work?
Yeah, please give us a follow on Instagram at Code3Outreach. You could always check us out at code3outreach.com and check out our merch. $2 from anything that's purchased on that site goes back to our charitable fund and will be donated to a fire department and first aid squad. Guys,
please check out code3outreach.com. Dan Jensen's been our guest. Dan, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the rest of the show, bud.
Absolutely.
Hello, Infused is back live on the trade show floor of the CWCBExpo here in New York City, and I'm very, very happy to welcome Brandon Gottlieb of Flowhub. Brandon, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, and we're only a couple hours into the show. What are your first experiences of what they've put on for us?
This is amazing. Huge room filled with cannabis enthusiasts, all trying to find a place in the marketplace, and it's just great being in person again, talking to people, and building relationships in this industry is the best.
It really is, and I don't think we can accentuate that point enough, where this community, the cannabis industry is a communal thing. It's a community, and being apart that long really took its toll on a number of us, because we're used to events like this, and you meet nice people, and you do forge pretty long-lasting relationships. So it's so nice to be back. Tell us a little bit about what you do with Flowhub.
Yeah, so Flowhub is a point-of-sale retail platform for dispensaries. So we're in over 1,000 different dispensaries across 14 different markets. We started back in 2015 in Denver, Colorado, expanded to California, Maine, Massachusetts. Now with New York and New Jersey coming on board, there's a lot of different markets, a lot of opportunity for us.
A lot of opportunity, and that's the thing that strikes me about being here at this moment as two markets that have been emerging for so long. New York, a little bit more of a delay from what we heard in the news last week.
I just heard that.
But, I mean, Jersey looks like they're ready to roll. What is enticing about being here at this moment with these markets?
Yeah, it's just exciting. I grew up on Long Island. I'm a cannabis enthusiast and smoking since high school. So
good man.
When I saw that back in March and April that it went legal, I knew I had to put my hand in the cookie jar and get involved. So Flowhub, a recruiter actually reached out to me back in May and came with me with a remote sales job. Yeah. First employee on the East Coast, jumped all over it.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
First employee for Flowhub here on the East Coast. Is there anything in particular you hope to take away from this show the end of this week?
Yeah, it's just building relationships with folks that are either in retail or that do cultivation. Just be friendly with everyone that's here, because everyone has a unique role in this industry. So just building relationships, connecting with them on LinkedIn, that's kind of the goal here for me.
Excellent, excellent. And it's well said, because I know being in this, it seems like we're the old guys on the block. Being in this industry 5 years in cannabis is a long, long time. But I've always found if you be kind, be cool, be compassionate, and it gets you a long way. And that's what's cool about our business.
Definitely. Cool. It's like a community.
Yeah, and that's the best part. So look, I don't want to keep you from the show. I want to thank you for your time today, Brandon. Wish you a great a weekend here in Manhattan.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. All right, the Infused show is back. CWCBExpo Day 1. I'm already having a blast, and I'm having a blast because at these shows, and thank God these shows are back, interesting people with incredible ideas come up to you all the time. like my man Rob. Rob Rotta's here from Fresh Tag 419. Rob, thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you for having me. We're a new company. We're creating the first contactless way to smoke weed, believe it or not.
This
and
is
it
great.
comes in the form of some old school leg right here. It's pretty crazy to even describe it, but super simple to use. All you got to do, right here, this is how it comes. So you have your bottom leg here, little accessory piece, and this up top is the main piece. This is the smoker. So all you do really is you take your weed, you grind it up, you drop it in this little top piece right here. You light it, you hit this back button. Once the button's on, it blows a nice stream out through the top. All you got to do is suck it, you're good, right?
Nice,
simple,
clean, contactless high.
Also, the leg is also used to store your weed, or the little lighter right here, as you can see. We're gonna have some different types of lighters. That's just a straight up torch. This is our little pocketbook lighter right here that we're gonna have with it. This, nice, boom. Can't get better than that. Really pretty, cool stuff.
So tell me a little bit about the design, Rob. Who came up now? Because it come up and I see, my head goes right to A Christmas Story and the old man. And the minute I see this, it's arresting. Everyone's eyes go right to it. People are looking at us right now. Who's the mastermind here?
Believe it or not, it wasn't me. It was my father who came up with that idea. But he's a very old school guy. Came from sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Good man.
That's how I would grow up. I listen to classic rock. It's my favorite. Very old school that way.
Good man.
But sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that's what sells, believe it or not. So we kind of took that route, and then we built off of it. At first, I was like, Dad, I don't know about the leg.
Yeah.
I was like, what is the leg? What is the leg? And then I walk in here today, everyone is staring at me as soon as I walked in with this leg.
There
this
it
right
is.
here, this is the what we're really selling. This sells itself. I just graduated college from the University of Tampa.
Congrats.
This past May. So the cannabis industry is just exploding.
Yeah.
And we want to be a part of it. There's money to be made, and we know we have a great product.
Yeah.
It's super simple. Me as a college kid, guys going into smoke shops, you're looking around. If I saw this in college.
Yeah.
If you see this just sitting around, you're going to pick it up, and I would have bought it right there. $50 just for this device, and then $75 with the leg. You can't really beat that.
You got a good, you got good product, and the one thing you need in this industry too. I look around, you got to stand out. Your logo is exceptional. You have a good message, and now you were telling me right before we jumped on here.
Yeah.
Rob is from up near Yonkers. It's got to be an incredibly exciting time for people like yourself. Two emerging markets in New York and New Jersey, and you can feel that energy here. What do you hope to take out of the show?
Well, first off, we're here. This is still prototype.
Okay.
So right now, this is prototype. We're ready to go we're going to try to get ready to go in January and April to launch.
Okay.
We're still kind of working out those dates and everything. We're talking to manufacturers out in China, so it's getting a little crazy trying to get product. So we want to make sure everything is ready to go for a set date. We got a website coming up. We're about to launch that pretty soon, along with our Instagram and things like that. Yeah. So we do not have any social right now, but we're in the process of getting that out within the next month or two, which is not that bad. Right now, we want to get our name out there at least so people know, this is going to be a future product.
Right.
The whole idea behind this is really to blow 420 away. That's what it is. We're trying to change the industry. We're living in this whole new world now with COVID, and who's not, contact this, contact. It's like no this, no yes. Crazy world we're living in. We found a way to make everyone happy.
Absolutely.
If you want to smoke, now that it's recreational here in New York, you want to smoke weed, but you're scared of COVID. I know New York has some pretty strict mandates right now, especially coming in and out of restaurants, things like that. You have to have a vax card, but you're with your friends. You don't want to risk it. You don't know where your friends have been the whole week. All you got to do, grind your stuff up, put it in, light it, and you're good to go. It's simple, super simple. We've tested it, uses it, does the same, does the same thing as smoking a joint, bong, or whatever you're doing. It does its damage.
It's interesting. It's interesting that some people let things like the pandemic kind of paralyzed them.
Yeah, no, of course.
You guys used it as momentum and came up with this great idea.
Yeah.
I commend you. I think you've done such good work. So it's
Thank
Fresh
you.
Tag 419.
Yep, Fresh
We're
Tag
going to be
419.
launching in close to April.
Yeah, January, April, definitely.
And
2022 is
Yeah.
the launch, but maybe before.
Doug's telling me April 19th,
Yeah.
2022.
That's what
So
we're
get
looking for.
ready. We're going to look for Fresh Tag 419,
Yep.
and we're going to
He's gonna blow 420 away.
we're
I
going to
believe,
blowing 420 away.
Actually, you might as well follow our Instagram page. It is Fresh Tag 419.
Yeah.
Simple like that. You'll see our little logo. It'll kind of look like this on the Instagram page, but just in black.
All right.
There's no photos or anything, but just give us a follow so we can create, slowly grow our way through this, because we're really going to try to take the world over with this.
So if our listeners go to the
this right
Instagram page, follow them. I'll be doing that on our
Fresh
account
Tag 419.
just after that Fresh Tag 419. Rob, thank you so much for your
No,
time today
thank you
and
for
for
having
stopping
me.
by and showing us your wonderful products. I wish you guys
No,
nothing
thank
but
you.
success, and I want you to enjoy the rest of the show. So have a
Yeah.
great one.
Thank you so
You
much,
got
man.
it.
I appreciate it. That was awesome.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, once again, we are here in New Amsterdam. We're here in Gotham. We're here in the Big Apple. Francesca, thank you for joining me on the mic right now. CWCBExpo, day one, but you've had an interesting first day of a trade show, haven't you?
It has been a first for first days of trade shows, for sure.
You seem a little exhausted.
You know, it's good to sit down. It's always good to talk to you too, but
Oh,
it
thank
feels
you.
really good to sit down. No, it's been a bit of adventures happening all over the place here.
It's been a bit of an adventure, but I've never seen a trade show booth get set up quite that quickly before. When you put the pedal to the metal, and we're a little bit desperate, this team pulled it together, and we're here. I mean, we're fine. We didn't really have a bad first hour of the show. I mean, you've already made a couple of connections. What are your first impressions of day one? Is it what you thought it would be?
You know, it's not what I thought it would be. I feel like in prior years, the show has had more people come to it with the dream of being a dispensary owner or cultivator, and maybe now that dream has some real hoops you have to jump through and some real deadlines and real competition, people have taken themselves out of the running. And so what I'm finding on the floor now is actually way more CBD than I expected to have here, which is nothing wrong with that at all. Like, more power to you. We have a CBD company as well. So it's been great to talk to those people, and it's been a fun challenge to not get what we expected and to see how and if we can still help other people grow while still staying in our lane. Because I think there's a huge risk when you're at a trade show to want to say yes to everybody who wants to say yes to you.
Right.
And so you can very quickly gather a number of junk leads or leads that take you outside of your specialty.
Right.
And those, to me, neither one of those are what we're here for. We're here for helping people grow in the vein of our expertise of sales.
So it has to be a refreshing way to pull this when you're saying, we're a little more selective here.
Yes.
We know we can help people, but you can't be all things to all people, and you can be a really, really good ally, a really good partner to a select group of people. And there is nothing wrong with that brand of honesty on a trade show floor.
That's so well said. That is so well said, Nick, because you do have to be careful whether you're walking or whether you're exhibiting, how truthfully people present themselves and what their motives are behind their presentation. So
Nice.
We're just trying to be not selective in a way that is about excluding people or making them feel like they're not worthy of us, or any bullshit like that. It is way more about, we're only going to take your time if we can help you grow in the way that we know we can. And we hope that others would only take our time if they know that they could use and benefit our services. So it's fine to have quick conversations where that's not a fit. That's totally cool because you get to still meet people. You may have things in common or share audiences, or maybe they're great guests for Infused. But it's been fun to have a much more discerning eye because we are so clear on what we do and who we do it for.
I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be that kind of feeling. I'm going to get your impressions, or excuse me, what you want to see and take out of this in just a second. But I can't forget to do this. Francesca, if you look where I'm pointing, that is producer extraordinaire Frankie Fifth Year.
Hey,
how
Frank.
incredible has he been getting all this set up and getting us up and running in an emergency situation this morning?
It's been pretty phenomenal. He's kind of a superstar, and I think that ring light should be more like a halo over his head for being our freaking angel. That's it.
I agree. But, you know, you haven't had a chance to walk the floor yet, have you? What do you hope to see? What do you hope to take out of the show?
That's a good question. I am really hoping to see more people that are further along in the process of making their cannabis business a reality, of getting it to market. I'm hoping to see where people are in terms of licensing and where they are in terms of building their retail stores or their grow facilities. I get really excited about the things that I don't know to expect. There was a woman that came to our booth. She sold modular grow units, which I was like, okay, well, we're not going to sell the modular grow units for you. And so my initial thing is like, this is not a match. But we kept talking, and I said, well, what do your clients, the cultivators, do once they have those things ready to go, and where do they put them? And she's like, yeah, I think we could use you. And I was like, and we found out we're both in Oklahoma. I mean, it's those things that I don't even know to look forward to find those commonalities of two people trying to sell to the same audience or for the same audience in Oklahoma. We found each other in a trade show floor in New York City. So that's what I'm looking forward to, more pleasant surprises like that.
Awesome. Very well said. Well, look, I thank you for your time. I'm going to let you get back to the show. We're going to check in with you again, of course, throughout this thing. But thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.